Hello, my people, and welcome to Studio de Jefe, where I have the latest Cowboy news of the day, including some nuggets that I have acquired from my people about things that the Cowboys are planning or hoping will happen for them in this offseason, including the NFL Draft. I have nuggets for you. Now, some of these are going to be kind of weird sounding because in some ways it's hypocritical, but welcome to the world, okay? A couple of things that I have heard, and then we are going to do a mock draft roundup. Dane Brugler released his latest mock draft. Todd Mcshay released his latest mock draft, and then I'm going to do a 3-round mock draft right here with you. It's going to be great. After I give you the nuggets, the nuggets that are going to affect how we're going to do this draft. Cowboys, after the end of this football season, there are some there that are concerned about what in the world happened with Tyron Smith at the end of the year. The San Francisco game, he did not play well. I've thrown out the theory that maybe it's, hey, coming off of COVID, maybe it was still affecting him. But Tyron is something that some out there are like, man, what in the world is this? What was that decline at the end of the year? Lyle Collins, there are some in the organization that are wondering, is he all the way back from the hip? And if he's not all the way back from the hip, will he be all the way back from the hip? And for those who would like to move Lyle Collins to left guard, if you're not all the way back from a major hip surgery, that affects your ability to bend. Your ability to bend affects your ability to play guard with what they're going to ask you to do. So that is left tackle, right tackle, where there are some in the Cowboys organization that are like, That's on top of the fact that they don't have a left guard at the moment. Center is okay. Right guard is good. So there's some offensive line nuggets for you. As far as what they're planning or hoping to do in the draft, the Cowboys are zeroed in on fixing their offensive line, whether that means that they need a whole bunch of new players playing it or guys need off seasons to get right or whatever. They are zeroed in on offensive line, priority one. Got to get back to what it was once upon a time. The glory days of Ron Leary at left guard and Travis Frederick at center and maybe even Doug Free at right tackle. The glory days when your quarterback had time to throw and you could open running lanes. Man, wasn't that fun? So just know that as we go in to doing a mock draft, that I will be factoring in. They would love to upgrade their offensive line in the first round, maybe in the second round, but early offensive line is going to be a priority unless the board falls completely wrong for it. Second thing, when it comes to wide receiver, if Amari Cooper is indeed traded, released, whatever, which there are teams calling about Amari Cooper, so hopefully if they're just dead set on moving on from Amari, there will be an actual trade. Maybe it could be a trade that moves you up in the first round or the second round or acquires you a day 2 draft pick, whatever. But if that happens, wide receiver is obviously going to become a priority for this team. They're going to try to keep Michael Gallup. That deal appears to be almost done. CeeDee Lamb will be here, and then outside of that, we'll see. So wide receiver would likely be a pick in the first 3 rounds, if not the first 2 rounds. And here is a nugget on what the Cowboys are likely looking for at wide receiver, according to people I talk to. Technicians. Now, this is going to go to the hypocrisy thing that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Amari Cooper's a really good technician. They're looking for precision, technician, route running. They're looking for Amari Cooper. But that's what I'm hearing. So there are certain names that I think that means to keep in mind for the Cowboys. If you're talking about a first-round pick, if Ohio State's Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, those are both really good route runners, nice technicians. John Mechie out of Alabama in the second round. Jalen Tolbert out of South Alabama in the second round. My guy, Sky Moore in the second round. There's you some technicians. One other thing that I'm hearing scuttlebutt rumorooski about is that they are looking for, this is on both sides of the ball, edge, dogs, dudes that bring a fire and an energy. They're looking for guys like that. On defense, they are looking for guys that can bring that and leadership. because when you look at the Cowboys roster, when you look at them defensively, on offense, Dak is the leader. And I know there are a lot of people out there who think Dak sucks, but you still probably can't think that he's not a leader. And you've got a veteran offensive line, or at least some of those guys. But on defense, who is the leader? I think Micah Parsons has some of that. He definitely brings the dog part of it, where you ain't going to outwork him and that dude is here to hurt you and beat you every day. But those are just some things to keep in mind. Now, in the mock draft roundup, Todd Mcshay at number 24 overall. The Dallas Cowboys select George Karlaftis, defensive end out of Purdue. If he is available, George Karlaftis is a really good player. He's not the hyper athlete that some of the other defensive ends are in this draft class, but he does have better tape than a lot of the hyper athletes that could be drafted in the top 20. George Karlaftis is a really good player, and depending how many pass rushers go in the top 23, I think that's the end of the line on guys that you can think, hey, that dude can step in as a rookie and be a big-time contributor. I think for me, there's probably 6 edge guys that I feel could do that, and he's one of them. He's my 4th one, but he might be the 6th one taken off the board. So that is Todd Mcshay's mock draft. Dane Brugler's mock draft at number 24. The Dallas Cowboys select Treylon Burks, Arkansas, wide receiver. People are pretending him running a 4.55 at the combine is some sort of bad thing and that suddenly he can't play. Treylon Burks is really good. If Treylon Burks was picked 24th by the Cowboys, I think that would be a fine pick, and he could really help you. He's a 6'2", 225-pound guy that can do the jet sweep stuff, have fun out of the backfield, be good in the screen game, plays good above the rim, can go get the ball. He's tough after the catch. Treylon Burks is a really good player. I ain't worried about his combine at all. 5 years from now, no one's going to remember what he ran in the 40 because he's a really good football player, and I don't see him getting run down on tape. He's fine. So Treylon Burks at 24. And then he also had the Cowboys in the second round take Chad Muma, linebacker, Wyoming, who is a super athletic dude that's going to be a 3-down linebacker at Wyoming. Obviously, your level of competition is a question, but as far as the tools to be a 3-down linebacker in the NFL, he got him. All right, now it is time for, keeping in mind everything that I've already told you in this video, it is time to go mocking. Uh-oh, what happened to my window? There it is. Okay, it is time to go mocking. Here we go. Let me get out of the way here. I've set it up for 3 rounds for the Cowboys, keeping in mind that where possible, we want to prioritize offensive line. We want to prioritize wide receivers. And if it is convenient, we want to prioritize receivers that are technicians, route runners, perfectionists. And we're looking for leadership and edge, okay? So we got all those different things established, and here we go. All right, we're down to 24. Oh, the Chiefs talking about a trade? 30 and 62 for 24 and 128. Well, I got news for you. Captain Trade Down is always interested, but I need to see who is available. Them I don't care about. I don't care about a next year's one because I'm doing a mock draft. Keep in mind the Chiefs. Let me write down what they're offering. 24 and 128 for 30 and 62. That's a reasonable offer. Let's see what's available, though. Okay. What is available? Let's check offense. We don't need a quarterback. Drake London is a viable pick here, as is Treylon Burks. It's 2 different wide receivers that I think are a viable option. Zion Johnson, I actually think, is quickly becoming the perfect pick for the Cowboys, the offensive guard out of Boston College. I could cheat this thing because if Pro Football Network has him as a 37th ranked player, I could accept the trade and probably still get him. But I don't want to cheat this thing. So I think I'm going to turn down the trade and just take Zion Johnson. Let's see. If I would have to go down to 30, and I'm okay with picking Drake London, Treylon Burks, Zion Johnson, I'm okay with picking... That's really it at this spot. So I don't want to move out of this spot because all of those guys could be gone. So I will take a guy that is one of my top 2 players available between Zion and Burks. I'm going to take the offensive lineman who's going to play left guard for me, and we're going to move on with the first round. We're going to get to the second round, and that is not a trade I'm interested in either. And we're at 56. I have taken Zion, so I've fixed up left guard. And now, I got to tell you, George Pickens, wide receiver, Georgia, is an option. Ed Ingram, the LSU guard, if I had gone receiver in the first, I would go Ed Ingram here. So I could have Traylon Burks and Ed Ingram. But instead, we're going to do it in a different order. And I'm going to take a technician, I think, in John Mechie, depending on what defensive players are available here. Ooh, Travis Jones. Is it realistic that Travis Jones, I don't think it's realistic that he makes it there, but it's also not up to me to pretend that we know that for certain. So guys I would consider at this pick: Jalen Petrie, safety Baylor; Fedarian Mathis, D-tackle Alabama; Travis Jones, D-tackle Connecticut; Quay Walker, linebacker Georgia; Brian Asamoah, linebacker Oklahoma; Channing Tindall, that's probably a round later for me. Kirby Joseph, a little later. Okay, I'm going to be taking Leo Chenal with my third round pick. I don't know if that's going to be possible in real life, but that's what we're going to do right now because it's going to fit everything that I'm looking to do, right? So, in the second round, I am taking a good route running technician in John Mechie III out of Alabama. He's going to come back from that knee and he's going to rock and roll. And in the third round, I'm going to reject all trades because if he's there, well, man, Logan Hall will not be there. But look at all the names. Boy, I'd love Pro Football Network's rankings because it's going to let me pick kick-ass linebackers in the third round. Just know that all of these names would be in play. Quay Walker at Georgia is going to be a 3-down linebacker in the NFL, but I think he's going to go in the top 40, maybe top 50. Brian Asamoah is your undersized, fly-around linebacker type. Channing Tindall is the exact opposite. Although he can fly around and he is a great athlete, he's very much a forward-playing player, blitz, play the run. We'll see how he develops in coverage. And did we lose Leo? Did we lose? Or is he further down for them? Oh, he's even further down. Leo Chenal is the most interesting one because his testing, if you believe his pro day numbers, he's the most athletic linebacker prospect in the history of the league. He's 6'2", 250, jumps out the gym, sub-7-second three-cone, sub-4-second short shuttle. I still have Quay Walker as my top-rated linebacker here, so I'm going to pick him, but that's unrealistic. But just know this could be Quay Walker. This could be Brian Asamoah. If Logan Hall were really there, he's probably my pick. Troy Anderson, Montana State, is a freaky athlete, kind of raw player, but freaky athlete. Leo Chenal, tons of names for you. How about that? I'm just going to take Quay Walker because he's here. Not realistic, but I took him. And so there you go. There's a mock draft from Todd Mcshay. There's one from Dane Brugler. There's one from me. And this is for you guys out there who were telling me that you miss the shorter, concise videos here on the channel. So I'm trying to make everybody happy. Here's your little draft and Cowboys news nuggets. And then tonight I'll be live for longer and we'll talk about whatever you want. So that's that. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through, so be cool to everybody. I love you. Bye.